Well, hello, my friends. I am here to show you the card game, Deck 52 Space Wrecked. Now, this is by Alexia Perrin, and it is a very quick solo dungeon crawl, but you're not in the dungeon. You are on a derelict spaceship. Your spaceship, unfortunately, yeah, it broke down, exploded, you ejected in your escape pod, and you've made it to this abandoned derelict ship. Well, I shouldn't say abandoned, should I? You've made it to a derelict ship, and you're working your way through the ship looking for the escape pod that you can launch to safety. We're going to come up against some obstacles on our way, of course, to said escape pod. But that's sort of the meat of the game. It's this crawling through an old ship, looking for your way out. It is a quick game, probably only takes about 10 minutes to play, super easy to set up. And if you're looking for a quick little snack of a game, you can do that. But of course, as all good designers know, we love a campaign, don't we? So over on the website, the designer's website, I'll put a link below, he has a bunch of really cool supplemental things you can add on to the game, because the game itself is just 52 cards. And one of them is this campaign sheet. And here you can see the derelict spaceship we've landed on. You start at the nose and you have to make your way all the way through to the escape pod. The threat levels go up. You get some upgrades and you have a bunch of objectives to complete. So if you want something a little meatier, if you have a little more time, you can play this in a campaign mode. Also over on the website, there's a really nice, I'll probably use this, just a little playmat you can print out just to sort of keep things organized. But honestly, the game, it's so just beautifully streamlined that I don't think you really even need a player's mat. But you know what? I'll show it to you. Now, of course, we have 3 characters to pick from, and they're all absolutely adorable and amazing. We have the scientist, starts with some items. The thug, I love that he has a little criminal record here, and the Marine. Why were they on a spaceship together? We don't know, but they all have different starting items. They all have the same health and abilities other than that. So you can kind of pick one and run with it. I kind of like the look of the Marine. She looks like a badass, but yet, she's still accessorizing. Her earring and bracelet is matching. So maybe we'll pick the Marine to run with. And she comes with a pulse rifle. And you know what? As I hinted out before, this derelict ship might have a few things in it. So having a weapon in our holster, that might be a good way to go. Aside from just trying to find the escape pod, we're also going to figure out what our objectives are. And this gives your play some direction. So it's not just find the escape pod, get off. We're also going to have to complete one objective in order to successfully leave. So like you can see, resolve the Xenoterror or explore it twice. So we have to find one of the little creatures on the ship and kill it. We can explore 2 wrecked modules and resolve a vacuum area. These are just things that kind of, like I said, focus in your gameplay. You want to make it harder? We can make it harder. We can throw in some threats. I'm not going to. I want to show you how the game works without getting wrecked. But you can, if you want to amp the level up a little bit, throw in some threats. And again, these will come in if you do the campaign mode. We're just going to be playing with the objectives. Now, we do have some loot that we can find throughout the game, which is great. We happen to start with the pulse rifle. The next thing that you have in here are your health points, which is, I think, a very nice way of doing it. These are extras we're not starting with. We start with 4. When we take a hit, we're at 3, 2, 1. We ever lose our last health, we are out of the game. All the characters start with 4. Some of them might start with something a little extra. We didn't pick any of these, so we won't need them. And the last thing we have are these little action point cards, I guess you can say. The flamethrower is an extra again. We don't have that one yet, so we'll pull him out. And one of the things the designer did, which I think is so classy, and I love this, on the bottom of the card, he's written these little numbers, right? So when he says something like, pull out your health point cards, right? The back of the cards don't say health points. And if you're wondering, what are these? Where do I find them? He'll also say, cards numbered 7 through 10. So you can easily pull out cards 7, 8, 9, 10 and realize, oh, this is my health pile. That's wonderful. Same with the loot. He'll say, pull out the loot cards. They're numbered 1 through 26. You could pull out those numbers and find them. I know it's a little touch, but trust me, as someone who plays a lot of games, everyone uses different terminology for things, and having it like defined, especially when you're beginning, it's so nice. I'm just thank you for that. Now you have these tile cards, and the back of them represent the ship as we explore, right? These are all the different rooms and passageways we'll be going through. Some of them have baddies. I'm sorry. There are things on this ship. Some of them have areas that we can resolve, and if we resolve them, we can get a bonus as well. Some of them have items that we can pick up and carry with us, and that we'll need later on. I don't want to show you all the cards, obviously. We'll get to them in game, but we're just going to give these a good shuffle and put them to the side. And the one card you do have to kind of pull out in the beginning is your entrance, labeled card number 1. This is how we get in to the derelict ship. We auto-resolve it, and we start the game here. So now that we know who we're playing, the Marine, and we have all the cards that we need to get started, let me lay it up real quick, and we'll hop into the game. So the first thing let's do is figure out what our objective is going to be in order to get off this derelict deck. So we're going to take these cards, they're called action cards, and they're labeled 14 through 20, and they are our action points, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Where is 5? Do I have them all? I do. I want to make sure I'm not missing any here because I kind of shuffled them already. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pulse rifle is 6 and 7. Now, 6 and 7 are not always in the action deck. You only get them if your character says so. But for this part, for finding the objectives, there's 7 objectives. So we're going to use all 7 of these cards. And we're just going to give them a real good shuffle here. And we're going to pull one, and that's going to be our objective on this derelict ship. We are doing objective number 6. Resolve security turret by paying a med kit. All right, so we know that in order to fulfill our mission, we are going to have to take out the security turret. And to do that, we're going to make sure we have a med kit. So we're looking for those 2 cards to come up while we're playing the game. All right, so now that we have the objective in mind, let's go ahead and set our action deck. And like I said, every character starts with cards 1 through 5. Okay, 6 and 7 are special. You only get them if the game tells you to. And in our case, because we're running the Marine, she starts with the pulse rifle. So we are going to add the number 6 points to our little action deck. Now this is great. This kind of works as like our random dice. We're going to pull a card, see if we resolve it. High cards help, low cards not so much. And we have a 6 in here, so we're looking pretty good. Nobody has the flamethrower, so we'll take that one out of the game. And our Marine is ready to rumble. So let's take our cool little playmat here, and we're doing the Marine. You can just mark it off. I'll just stick her there to remember. Give the loot deck a good shuffle. I'm going to stick it here. Any loot that we have is going to fall into our inventory. So some of the characters, like the scientist, she starts with some loot already in her inventory. So you would go ahead and stick that in there. We don't have any. The health pile, 1, 2, 3, 4 in order. Now, I think the thug gets extra health, but for us, we're just a 1, 2, 3, 4. And the action deck. And these are what I think of as like the room card, or sorry, not the room cards. These are your, yeah, these little 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and in our case, 6. So we're going to give those a good shuffle, and we're going to put them here. Now, as we play cards, we're going to put them up into the discard pile up top. And we're going to put the map deck, the room cards, down over here, and we're going to play to this side. All right, does that make sense? Like I said, super easy setup. Our characters are ready to go. Let's set up our map. And this is the magic card. This is the grav shaft. This is how we get into the escape pod to get out. So we are looking to reveal as we're exploring this card number 27, the grav shaft. Now it'll only work if we've resolved our current objectives. So the grav shaft isn't going to activate until we take out that security turret. But I just wanted to point out that that is our win condition. If we run out of health, or we run out of action points, or we get eaten on the way, we lose the game. We start with an entrance. And the one thing that's a little tricky and a little hard to get sort of your mind around, but once you do, you're good to go, is that you alternate between passageways and junctions, all right? What's the difference? A junction has 4 exits. I think of it more like, you know, a room, a big room with lots of choices. So the entrance is going to be considered a junction. All 4 doors are going to be active. Off of every junction, you end up with 4 passageways. So for example, passageway, 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 passageway. What does that mean? Well, it means we're never going to put a card here or here, here or here, here or here, all right? Passageways have one way in, they have one way out. There's nothing on the back of the cards that show that, because you never know if your card's going to be a junction or a passageway. So there's no way to show that on the back of the cards. All cards have 4 openings, but you just have to remember, if it's coming off of a junction, it's going to be a passageway. Which means, let's say we walk down this passageway, I'm going to put this card in, it's going to be a junction, so it's going to have 4 points. 1, 2, 3. This is coming off a junction, it's a passageway. See what I'm saying? So it's only going to have 2, which means I'm only going to put 1 card up here, okay? So you are building this alternating between junctions, which have 4 routes, and passageways that just get you to the next junction. Super easy to do once you get going on it. There are cards that have you play what are called gaps, and a gap would be like a hole that gets busted on the side of the passageway, and you would put 2 cards here. But that's a special requirement. It's not something we're going to normally do while we're building the map. But that's pretty much how you lay your map out. Junctions to passageways, junctions to passageways. Okay? You'll see it as we play. But that was the only part of the rules where I was a little bit of a head scratcher. I was like, wait, but there's 4 paths. How can I only go in 2 places? Because, you know, hey, that's just how it works. So how are we going to do this? This is going to get real big real fast. So maybe I won't use the mat, and we'll focus more on the map, which is, you know, where all the good stuff happens anyway. So when we land on the access point, the game tells us that this is a junction. And when you ever are at a junction, we're going to reveal 4 of these little tile cards. So our first is a vacuum area. That sounds terrible. The second is the instrument bay. All right. We have an air duct. Okay. And we have storage lockers. All right. Now on your turn, you can explore any of these cards in any order you want, and you can backtrack as much as you like once you've found an explored area. Some of these we're not going to be able to do because maybe we don't have the right items yet, or we don't have the right abilities. We can always come back to them. So for example, the vacuum area says to resolve, we get to choose. We auto-resolve if the astronaut rig is on top of the health pile. Well, we never found that. Or we pay an oxygen, well, we don't have any oxygen, or we lose health and we discard our action card number 3. Discard is gone from the game. You don't bring them back, you don't shuffle them, they're gone forever. We only have action cards 1 through 6, so if we discard our number 3, that's a big hit. So we may not want to resolve the vacuum area quite yet. Maybe we can pick up some oxygen and come back to this. I mean, why walk through space if we don't have to, right? So let's check out the instrument bay. To resolve, shuffle action cards from 1 to 5 and draw 2 of them. Choose 1 to discard, the rest goes into the action deck. Ooh, that's interesting. So we have a chance. This is a gamble. We're going to shuffle these. We're going to draw 2, and we have to get rid of 1 of them. If one of them's like a 1 or a 2, we get to thin our deck. If it's like the 5 and the 6, we're in trouble. So that's a little bit of a risk, but I like risks. Storage lockers. To resolve, draw a card from the loot deck, auto resolve. Okay, yeah, we're definitely going to do that. So let's just start with the storage lockers because I like loot as much as the next person. And we picked up oxygen. Look at that, look how lucky we are. Okay, so when you resolve a card, you turn it upside down. Remember, this is a passageway, so we're gonna put it here. So we can now, if we want, resolve the vacuum area because we can pay the oxygen to do that. And we can continue down here. I don't know if I'm going to be honest. We have this passageway open to us, so maybe we don't need to go through here. Maybe there's gonna be another use for oxygen. The air duct says to resolve, explore 2 cards in the gaps adjacent to a resolved passageway. Aha! So what this says, if we want to get through these air ducts, we're gonna have to put 2 cards side by side and then resolve both of them to get through. So this is also kind of a hard place to go. So for now, do we want to risk the instrument bay or do we want to just keep walking down here? I think I'm gonna risk it. Let's see what happens if we can't thin our deck. Is this a bad idea? Probably. Interestingly enough, it says only action cards 1 through 5. Remember, one of these is our pulse rifle. And we can't lose our pulse rifle in this little gamble we're gonna take here, which is kind of why I'm willing to do it because I'm already up in action cards. So let's pull 2 action cards. And get rid of one of them. Oh no, I'm so bad. Okay, we gambled and we lost, okay? Oh my gosh, why did I do that? So we're gonna lose the 4. The 4 is out of the game. Gosh darn it. You know what? I feel like it's desperate. We gotta do it. We gotta do what we gotta do. So we gambled, we lost a great card, but we did resolve the instrument bay, so at least we do have another path to go down. But I'm so sad about that we're gonna head down this particular pathway. So it only gets 1 card. It's gonna be face up. And this is a blast door. To resolve, choose pay the access card or -1 health if the exoskeleton card is on the top of the health pile. Well, we don't have an exoskeleton card. So the only way to get through these blast doors for us is with an access card, which we don't have. So right now, this is blocked for us. So we have walked down this passageway, the way I like to think of it is, and we're standing at the end of it looking into this junction. Until we resolve this junction, we're not gonna play out more cards. So we don't know what else is down here. We just know that there's a blast door that we have to get through. Okay, so maybe the instrument bay was the play after all, right? This looks like it could work out for us. So let's find out what's gonna be on top of here. And at the end of this passageway, we come to the security turret. This is what we have to resolve. Okay, resolved. You challenge. Oh, so we're gonna do a challenge. Shoot. Okay, let's do it. Okay, we're gonna take the challenge. Okay, resolved. You may also resolve a Void Beast card. We don't have a Void Beast card. If we pull a 1. If we pull a 2 or 3, we just resolve the turret. If we pull 4 or better, we get -2 health. Ew, well that's terrible. Well, I guess we got rid of the 4, so that's not too bad, right? So let's take this challenge because we know we have to do it to get out of here. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna go over here to our little challenge deck and we're just gonna pull the top card and we're gonna see where we fall. Oh, we used our pulse rifle, darn it. Wow, this is a rough game for us. Okay, so we try to blast it with our pulse rifle. Security turret, man, it's an aimbot. It takes us out and it hits us for 2 points of damage. Oh, this is terrible. Now we have to resolve this in order to win. So as much as I would like to just sort of flee at this point, I kind of feel like we need to keep going. So I guess we're gonna try it again. Oh no. I mean, or should we wait? Okay, maybe we're gonna wait. We know we have to do this stupid turret. We don't know the way out yet, so maybe we'll wait. I don't wanna end the game too quick. And we're just having terrible luck. So we're gonna leave the turret there. We can always come back for it. Let's head over to the vacuum area because we can auto resolve it by paying our oxygen, and we're going to shuffle it back into the loot deck so we can always find it again if we need to. So we're gonna we're gonna go ahead, stick on our oxygen mask, and get through this passageway. Okay, cool. And this is gonna lead us to a junction, which means, ooh, it's the med bay. To resolve, take the med kit card from the loot deck or auto resolve. Ooh, do we want the med kit? Shuffle into the loot deck to restore 2 health. Okay, so I think we do, guys. I think we do, because we're so low, right? Okay, to resolve, we're gonna take the med kit card from the loot deck and we're gonna shuffle into the loot deck to restore 2 health. So basically all we're gonna do is put it back in and get our 2 health back. Man, we needed to do that. Okay, and now of course we can auto resolve it, which is great. This turns into a junction, right? So let's go ahead and I'm trying to figure out where I can hide these things so that they're not in the way, maybe up here. Okay. And from here we have options. We have erect module cannot be resolved. So this is going to be a dead end. We have another air duct. Ugh. And we have storage lockers. Here we go. To resolve, draw a card from the loot deck. Sounds good to me. So we've had a bit of a reprieve here. So we are going to draw a card from the loot deck and then we can keep wandering that way. So we're gonna pick up, what is this? A force field. Shuffle into the loot deck to cancel any amount of damage delivered by 1 strike. Oh, yes, please, we will definitely take that. Okay, so this guy got resolved, so we're gonna turn him down and we're gonna keep heading that way. I'm gonna have to shuffle things, give me a minute. So this was a passageway, so we're coming up to another junction. And this junction is a void beast. Shoot. Okay, but maybe we'll try him anyway, just to show you how it works. Challenge. If we pull a 1 or a 3, we lose health and we try again immediately. So we can't really run away from this guy. A 4 or a 6 means he goes back into the deck, but we can progress. A 7 means we resolve him. Now, we don't have a 7. The highest we've got is a 6, and we've lost our 4. So we might want to avoid the void beast. I think we might just leave him here. He might be a little too tough for us. So we've peeked down this passageway and we see these void beasts and we immediately turn around and decide to head back. So we can try the security turret again, but we still haven't found the way out. Well, maybe we've, oh, okay, that makes sense. So I think we have completed one of our objectives. We have paid a medkit, right? We've already found the medkit and repaid it. So we do need to resolve the security turret and find the exit. So what's still open to us? We have the blast doors, but we don't have an access card. I guess we could resolve the security turret and then proceed from there and head that way. Or we can try and do one of these air ducts. And the only sort of drawback with the air duct is we have to explore 2 cards in order to progress. So let's wander back up and take a whack at that security turret again. Now my thinking here is we need to resolve this to get off. And if we resolve it, right, it's a junction. So we'll get 3 more cards and maybe we'll get lucky here and find the way off. We have our force field we could use, but let's see. Let's try and resolve this. All right, here's our challenge. Just please be low. Why do I keep drawing this stupid pulse rifle? Ah! Okay, let's go again. We're gonna lose 2 health. Oh, shoot. I guess we can use our force field if we need to, right? Let's use our force field. Okay. Oh, I don't know. Shuffle into the loot deck to cancel any amount of damage delivered by 1 strike. So I'm assuming that counts as a strike. We're going to put him back in the loot decks and we're going to shuffle the stupid pulse rifle in. You would think the pulse rifle would help me, but I guess not against a security turret. Okay. Okay, come on, baby. Here we go. Well, how many pulse rifles are in here? Okay. All right, we'll pay her 2 health. We might just die here. The security turret might actually be the end of us. But I'm gonna, you know what, it's personal now. So guess what, security turret? I'm just gonna stand here and take your stupid shots because eventually, yes, we resolve it. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay, security turret. Now, if we had resolved it with a 1, remember those void beasts that are down there? We'd be able to clear them, but we didn't. That's fine because we did. It's a junction, so we're gonna flip over. Erect module cannot be resolved, so we'll put the dead end. Let's put it up here so I don't have to move the camera. We found another security turret. Oh my gosh. And we found a guard bot. Okay. Shoot. Okay. So we've done the security turret, right? So we don't have to clear all the security turrets. That was not our mission. Our mission was just to resolve 1. So we don't have to fight that terrible turret again. We do, however, need to keep exploring, and I keep hitting these gosh darn wrecked modules. Okay, I guess we're going to have to resolve one of these air ducts. The entire derelict ship has been completely cut off to us. There's monsters, there are wrecked modules. Our only hope at this point is to pop open an air duct and try and crawl through, and we're down to 2 health. So we are playing the game, people. We are playing the game. All right, let's do it. So it says in any explore 2 cards in the gaps adjacent to a resolved passageway. So we can pop open any air duct that we want in order to get sort of around this problem. So let's just, because this is where my camera is, we're going to crawl into the air ducts. We'll see if we can get into either of these air ducts. We have another blast door. We don't have an access card, and even better, yes, we get the med kit back. We get the med kit back. Okay, so we get our med kit back. We get back our 2 health, and we auto resolve this one, which is great. The problem is we had to explore 2 cards, and we can't explore this one because we don't have the access card. Okay, so let's try exploring 2 other passageways. Come on, one of these air ducts have to be open to us, right? So this little passageway has been explored. So let's see. We find the grav shaft to resolve, complete the current objective. You guys, I think we just did it. We just did it. Okay, so let's double check. We have resolved a security turret. We have paid a medkit. Oh my gosh, we have paid 2 medkits, and we found the grav shaft. So we did it. We crawled through the air dock. We found the grav shaft through the air dock, which managed to take us to the shuttle, and we get off of this terrible, terrible derelict ship. We didn't have to fight anything, which is really nice. That pulse rifle, I think, did more damage than good. But you know, it is what it is. Anyway, so like you saw, this did not take very long to play. It's not a fiddly game. There's not a lot of bits and pieces. It's cards and just sort of resolving your layout. I think it is super thematic. You really feel like you're going through a ship and you're coming to these doors and peeking in and seeing what's ahead, and you have these dead ends and you can see there's these little void beasts scuttling around and you're like, I don't want to go in there, and you're climbing into air shafts and you do get blocked, which I think is totally necessary in this game because it keeps you from just auto winning, because you're coming up to these things where you can't get through until you find something else. So it's forcing you to really explore and take risks. Sometimes they pay off, sometimes they don't, but that's the game. Because it's so quick and simple, I don't mind doing it. I don't mind playing risky and crazy because it's not like I've wasted, 2 hours and then one bad decision ruins it all. I think it's a very fun game. I think it's a very quick game. Like I said, thematic artwork, all of it. It's really nice. And of course, the fact that you can add the campaign and the threat levels to amp it up and make it even worse, right? There have been a few games where I just happened to turn over what I needed and the escape like right away, I tend just to reshuffle and start again because that's really, you know, not too much fun. But those are few and far between. For the most part, there's a good spacing because these objectives are multi-part. You have to do two things. You have to do the vacuum area and the data crystals. You can't just pull the right cards right away. They do make you sort of crawl through the ship and find what you're looking for. So it's just a fun, simple, super thematic little game. If you're looking for a good solo dungeon crawl and maybe you're tired of the fantasy trope and you'd like little aliens in your life, I would highly recommend that you check out Deck 52. Now, I'll also say, those of you who stuck around to the end, in the link below, when you go to the game designer's webpage, he does show you how to play this game with a deck of 52 cards, right? You can see that's where this came from. So if you want to give it a try before, you know, buying a copy, you can play with just a regular deck of cards. It's not as thematic because every time you turn up a card, you have to reference what it is. So you'll be like a 3 of clubs. Oh, that's the blast door, a 4, and then you kind of have to, you know, look back and figure out what each card means in your tableau. But you could play this with just playing cards if you want to give it a shot that way. I always appreciate a fun game. I appreciate a fast game, and I need more sci-fi in my life. So I'm glad to have my hands on this one. Again, if you're interested, the link will be down below. But this, Deck 52, Space Rock. Hope you enjoyed it, guys, and I will see you next time.